Hey, babe, shut that door for me. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Hope you're all having a good Saturday so far. What are you all up to? Whiskey HD in the house, the one and the only person in the chat so far. Just open up those blinds just ever so slightly, babe. How we doing? Did anybody watch Eagle FC last night? Jonathan Bain says, "Where's Rebecca?" Rebecca is right behind the screen. You can't see her. Hi, Mike. How are things? Things are good. Saturday morning. Lazy one today. Busy week of work. And yeah, just took it easy. What did I do this morning? Lay in bed, drank too much coffee, watched some Ricky Gervais outtakes on Derek on YouTube. It was hilarious. But anyway, love from the Hispanic community. Well, love right back to you guys. Did you all see my video this morning? A day down at Ruka, training day. So well done to Brantendo for the editing on that one. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. Rashad looked awesome. Yes, he did. So let's get into that. That was the first thing I was going to talk about. Eagle FC last night, the inaugural event from Khabib Nurmagomedov. Free stream, so that was cool. Good quality. You know, the stream wasn't dipping out or anything like that. So congrats to Khabib on a successful launch here in the USA. I think he's done a few other events, or maybe that was the first one since he was the owner. But yeah, good fight card. And some decent fights. Main thing for me, the main event, of course, was Tyrone Spong, not Tyrone Sprung, regardless of what Henry Cejudo says and how many times you want to call him Tyrone Sprung, it's Spong. But still, the main event for me was seeing Sugar Rashad Evans back in there last night. I texted him straight away after the fight, said, congratulations, well done. Rashad Evans, one of the good guys of the sport for sure. Just a class act, a great guy, legendary fighter, Hall of Fame inductee, former opponent of mine, now colleague, and of course, a friend. What's this? Jamie McGregor, been a fan ever since you were shouting at Rashad's coach while holding the fence. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did hold the fence when we fought, and their coaches were going, he's holding the fence. I'm like, fuck off. Leave me alone. Shut up. I'm trying to get back to my feet. And if I've got to hold the fence to do it and the referee doesn't see it, then I'll do it. But yeah, no, I thought Rashad looked great. You know, of course, sadly, his run in the UFC, you know, didn't end too well, shall we say. But that's the way it goes. But he took some time away. And last night looked great. He looked fast. He looked lean. He looked sharp. Wrestling was on point. And that was against a dangerous opponent. His opponent was a very, very big man. So could not have been happier for Rashad Evans last night. Let's have a look. Bobby Butcher says Robert Whittaker is getting knocked out uglier than before. His trainer will not hold him in his arms and tell him the third time's a charm. Well, Bobby, we are all entitled to our opinions, and that is certainly a potential outcome. You know, Robert Whittaker may get knocked out again. I mean, let's be honest. Adesanya knocked him out 2 times last time. At the end of round 1, he was essentially out. And then round 2, he got put back down and finished off. I think that was a crappy night at the office for Robert Whittaker. He was coming off a long layoff. I believe he was coming off injuries. Maybe he was just, you know, a little in awe of Adesanya. Sometimes you do that, and Adesanya's fucking good. And he beat him soundly. But I think Robert's going to come with a better approach. I think he's going to come with a better game plan. And I think he's going to be just more successful generally in this fight. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going to wait until I give my analysis and we'll do an official prediction video. But I think Robert's got a good chance. I mean, obviously, Adesanya is going to be the favorite coming into that one by far. Number 1, super dominant champion. And he has a victory over Robert. So, of course, he's going to be the favorite. But I think Robert is going to come with a different game plan. He's going to mix up the wrestling, like I said in that other video. If you haven't seen that, I talk about Adesanya and Robert. So if you want to know my thoughts on how we can approach that fight differently, go and watch that. I'm not going to repeat myself. But, yeah, I think we're going to see a different fight. I really do. I think we're going to see a different fight, a tougher fight for Adesanya for sure. I'm not saying who I think's going to win just yet because I'm still not sure on that. Let's have a look at some of the chat then. Yeah, you watch Rashad. Did we see Henry Cejudo give away the hold on, where's my phone? Might as well plug the damn thing in while I'm sitting here. I don't know about you, but It's a pain in the ass when you don't charge your phone overnight, isn't it? So there we go. There we go. She's charging away. Where were we? Finally caught alive. Let's go. Well, there you go. Not so scrumpy. Welcome to the club. Hope you're well. Hi, Mike. You are my hero. That comes from Bean McLean. Well, Bean McLean, regardless of your questionable screen name, you were also in my good graces. I won't say you're my hero because I don't know you. Triple C for quadruple C. Well, quadruple C would exist if he comes back, becomes a triple C again, because right now he's a nothing C. You know, you got to defend those titles and you got to be active. And then once he is a champion of, say, the bantamweight division or the flyweight division, you know, of course, titles, you know, he'll always be a triple C. I'm kidding. But I think if he wants to fight Volkanovski or whoever the featherweight champ is, he needs to be active. He needs to be a champion of another organization. He can't retire and then step in and do that. I know GSP did that, but it's a little bit different. I spoke about that as well. B. McLean, I did notice you. Bisping, did you see Dana White's diss track? I did indeed. I mean, fair play to Jake Paul. I mean, he's not afraid to go there, is he? And a lot of production value went into that. Let's see. Which UFC NFTs did I get? You know, I'll say this again. I bought some of the UFC Strike NFTs. I forget which ones I got. I got some good ones, though. I got Nick Diaz. I got Hamza, I got Paddy's debut and a few others. And when I talked about that, fucking hell, and I said this last time, oh, it's a scam, it's bullshit, blah, 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 blah. No one's forcing you to buy them. They're just like collecting baseball cards that will one day be rare. That's all it is, but they're just digital. That's the easiest way of describing it. And there is a scarcity, so therefore that will make the value of them go up. But there is at no point any fucking scam going on. It is not a scam. Hi, Mike. Have you heard the story of Reese Langford's story? Have I heard of Reese Langford's story? Reese Langford's story. Reese Langford. No, I don't. See, I've got you. You've all got me thinking that you're gonna fucking you're trying to set me up. Say something. The Count versus Son and Eagle FC. Don't think so, mate. Don't think that. Who wins? Bisping versus 12 sixth graders with nunchucks. Would not steal. See, that is a key thing. Would not steal. The little bastards. They'll be hard to deal with. The edits in these videos are hilarious. The chat's going so fast, it's almost impossible to keep up. Hard to talk to you all. But what are you all doing this weekend? So main event, Tyrone Sprung, taking on Sergey Karatonov. Good performance from Sergey. I must admit, when I saw that matchup, I thought, oh, well, here we go. Karatonov's going to get slaughtered. But of course, Tyrone Spong is a kickboxer / boxer, and he took advantage of the lack of grappling. You know what I mean? Which is a smart thing to do if you're Karatonov. I thought Sprung looked... see, so who just got me saying fucking Sprung now? Spong. Do an impression of Cyril Gaines' laugh. I don't know how he laughs, but I know that sometimes he talks like this because he's from France. But I don't know how he laughs. What else? Why don't fighters weigh in on the day of the fight? That way they will be fighting at their real weight. Well, of course, and that's the issue, isn't it? Fighters, professional combat sports athletes have always weighed in the day before because that does allow them to cut weight, and it's just safer. You know, because the sad reality is, unfortunately, people are going to try and push it. They're going to try and scam the system. They're going to try and give themselves the best chance possible. And if they do that, if they cut weight on the day and then they go and compete, certainly in boxing or mixed martial arts, they're at grave danger of being seriously injured. Like my son right now, Callum, he's traveling up to Northern California. He's got a 4-hour drive. He is cutting weight. He's going to weigh in and then he's going to wrestle about 45 minutes later. So it's not ideal. You know, he had surgery, he got COVID, his weight got a little out of control, but he's learned his lesson. He's dropped the weight now. He's still doing a small weight cut, but a couple of weeks ago, he had to do like a 15-pound weight cut and then wrestle an hour later. But he's got his weight down. He's about 3 pounds over. So a minimal weight cut nonetheless. But yeah, you can't have fighters weighing on the day. It's too dangerous. You know, it is dangerous. You got to replenish those lubricants, the liquids around the brain to cushion it. All right. Bobby says, if we put you back in your prime, both eyes, not talking shit, no shit taken, do you think you could beat Izzy right now on UFC 4 and win every time? Well, listen, if a video game says that I can do it, then of course, who am I to argue? It's always I often get asked questions like, do you think you could beat such and such a fighter? And I'm always hesitant to answer those questions because it's just disrespectful. I'm not competing anymore. And if I say that, it's like it's talking shit about is it, but I'm never gonna have to back those words up. However, I do think I could have done. Yeah. In my prime, yeah, but that's what fighters are supposed to say. I've said this before. If a fighter says no, then they probably wouldn't be a fighter in the first place. Or they could be realistic, but I never saw a man I don't think I could beat. That's just the reality. I think, okay, give me time to prepare. I think I can beat them all. Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury in boxing or MMA is as interesting to me as Usain Bolt versus Michael Phelps in running or swimming. The specialist wins 10 out of 10. Thoughts? Good question. Comes from Harvey Willing. Last thing I want to do is potentially get in the way of a huge lucrative opportunity for Francis Ngannou. I hope that he gets a chance to go and box against him and he'll make a ton of money. But I don't think it would be a particularly what's the word? Competitive fight. I just don't. Francis is a terrifying man. He has insane power, and he has, as we saw against Cyril Gane, his skill set's getting better all the time. I mean, he hits some sweeps, he hits some takedowns, etc., etc. But the reality is, the boxing, whilst the punching power is absurd, the boxing skill level is just not there. Tyson Fury is like lightning. This man is very fast. Have you seen him on the pads? He's very fast. He's got a tremendous cardio ability. He's got great footwork. He's got great feints. He's got great experience. He can go 12 rounds. He's been in there with the best guys in the world. I understand people wanting to see that, and I would pay to see that. You want to see UFC champ versus a boxing heavyweight champ. Heavyweight, definitely. I'd love to see it. Who wouldn't want to see that? But I just don't think it would be competitive. Just like if Tyson, and I'm not being disrespectful to Francis Ngannou, because the reality is Tyson Fury steps into the octagon, Francis would take him down and maul the living fucking daylights out of him. He would kick him in the leg and his leg would possibly snap. Tyson Fury is very tall and very long, and to go with that tallness and that length, he has skinny little pencil legs. You know what I mean? but that's suited to boxing. It's perfect. His long style, his ability, his speed. It's all the perfect recipe for why he's so successful. That wouldn't cross over into MMA. Now, of course, Israel Adesanya is tall and long and has done incredible things, but that's taken him a long time to round out his skill set. So, yeah, I kind of agree. It is kind of like Usain Bolt versus Michael Phelps. There we go. Mo Khabib says, or Khatib says, Michael, huge long-time fan. Any idea if Tales from the Octagon is coming to Toronto anytime soon? Yeah, I would love to. This whole Tales of the Octagon thing, I never set about starting a new endeavor, starting a new career where I think I'm a stand-up comedian, because I don't think that at all. It kind of, the origins of it, the way it came about was kind of organic. And I enjoyed the process, but it's not something that I'm looking to do all the time, But I'm going back for round 2, and I will do some stateside and possibly Toronto side. So, yeah, why not? Why not? We've got a poll going on here. Says, do you give Francis a chance at boxing? 45% say Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. 45% say no chance. 42% say very slim. 7% think it will be competitive, and 10% of you just don't give a shit. And that's fair enough. Fair enough. What else we got? Doing an impression of Cyril Gane. How the fuck does Cyril Gane laugh? I don't know how he laughs. I know how he fights. I know how he looks. I know what he thinks of English food. But his laugh. It's a very curious thing to ask somebody to do. When you were starting out in England, did you ever think you'd come across Mike Litteris? Good one, bro. Come on, Stu. Did I ever think I'd come across Mike Litteris? Oh, dear. Weak. Sauce, brother. So obvious. Even I spotted that before I even read it out, but I'll play along. Jake Paul, hold on, we got another one here. Evening Mike Paul is good. Are you still doing a 10-year anniversary fight breakdown with Chael? Yeah, I hope so. That is coming up soon. When is that? January? I think it's probably past. January 27th. What is the date today? January 29th. So if I was doing it, I've missed the boat, haven't I? That's for damn sure. But we can still do that. 10 years to the day. I shared the octagon. Well, not to the day, or around about to the day. I guarantee it was this weekend, though. 10 years. 7 years would have been this weekend. Plus 2 days extra. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But whatever. Leap years throwing me off. You probably, if you don't know what I'm on about, I apologize. I can't be bothered explaining, no. Lots of love from India, Mike. The 10-year anniversary is a monumental thing. Well, it is. Why are you promoting BetterHelp scam on BYM? Disappointing to see. Well, there is no... is there a BetterHelp scam? I don't think there is. BetterHelp, as far as I know, offer professional counseling done online. And shame on me. Shame on me. Why shame on me? Anyway, yo, Mike... Since Kevin Holland is dropping down to 170, what do you think of a matchup between him and Daniel Rodriguez? I think that would be great. Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez, two strikers predominantly. I think that would be a fun fight. D-Rod, we haven't seen him in action for a while. Kevin Holland, looking forward to seeing what he can do at 170. I like it. T. Loeffler, I like it. Good shout. So Eagle FC, they tried doing the ref cam, which was kind of a throwback to the Pride days. They used to do that. Not sure it's the best thing for the viewing experience, if I'm honest. Not talking shit. I like them trying to be not innovative because it's been done before, but trying different things. We want to see that. We want to do it. But it just, when it went to that cam, it was like a lesser experience for the viewer. So don't do that one again. Okay, I get no saying it, but I wouldn't do that one again. Henry Cejudo letting Sergey Karatonov just go crazy on the microphone. I don't know if any of you saw it. So what happened was, I get it. So Henry Cejudo was doing the post-fight interviews, and I think he'll realize now doing those is kind of hard. It's not an easy thing to do that. And he was interviewing Sergey Karatonov at the end, and then a translator came in, but the translator had his own microphone, and Sergey Karatonov took the translator's microphone, and then he had open court, he had open forum. And when you're on TV and things, fair enough, they're on a streaming service, and it was a free streaming service, so they don't have a schedule. They haven't got a football game coming up or whatever. But generally on TV, you do. You can't just have carte blanche to go on in Russian for half an hour. And he wasn't doing half an hour, but he was yabbling on in Russian, talking to his people, of course, and Henry Cejudo was just standing there. And then Chael Sonnen's jumping in, going, okay, wrap it up. Pretty funny. That's why you only bring in one microphone, so obviously you ask your question, then you hold your microphone to the translator, and the translator translates, because that's what the translator does. There we go. But it was a little bit of a hot mess there for a minute, but well done, Khabib. Good job. Why does Khabib say that people who are older, 18 and up, are too old to be a champion who have never fought before? Does he say that? I haven't seen Khabib say that. If he does say that, then he's wrong. Simple. But that's his opinion. He can have his opinion. I would say Mr. Jim Clivitt or Jim Kivitt. Why does Khabib say that? I would say because that's his opinion. His opinion is that you need to be starting from an early age, from a child like he did. That's his experiences. So, of course, that's what got him on the road to success. So he thinks that's the road, Hey, but horses for courses. Everyone can do it differently. There's no set way, If you're young out there, or if you're a young man, if you're in your 20s or whatever, go for it. I mean, I had martial arts experience when I was a kid, but I didn't start getting into MMA till I was 24, something like that. I had heard of UFC, but I didn't know anything about it at all. So, never too late. And look at me. Could the Tony Ferguson that beat Rafael Dos Anjos beat Khabib? Don't know. It's a tough one. What are your thoughts on Joe Rogan and how good the man is doing? Especially at the last UFC. It was the Rogan show. Well, Joe Rogan is one of the lead commentators, one of the lead faces, and he steps into the octagon. I think Joe Rogan's fantastic. Certainly, you know, when you're watching those big events, you want Rogan on the comms because it just makes it feel like those big events. James McGregor says, do you think the UFC scoring system is favored to wrestlers? Guys can get pieced up for 3 minutes and then grab legs and lie on top to win the round. Well, as someone that's a non-wrestler, that is very frustrating. Did used to piss me off, you know. But I don't think it's favored to wrestlers. It's favored to whoever is the best fighter. You know, wrestlers can get on top. But under the current scoring system, if the judges adhere to the scoring system, a takedown is only classed as a change of position. They're not necessarily dominating the fight. They have to use that position to their advantage. They have to try and pass guard. They have to try and get a better position. They have to be working towards a submission or looking to do damage via ground and pound or punches, elbows, whatever. So I understand what you're saying. And in a close fight where there's not much action on either side, whoever holds a dominant position and gets control time, they will win that round, you know, because I guess it's just something to score on. You know, if to your example here, somebody gets pieced up for 3 minutes and someone gets a takedown, I would give that round to the person that did the action, the person that did the most damage, the person that held the dominance, you know? So it's all, so yeah, I don't necessarily agree with you, and that isn't how it goes, but I do understand that often we see scorecards or fights scored in such a way that leaves you thinking, what the hell is going on? You know, you're scratching your head and you're thinking, I don't agree with that. Michael Raj Paul says, which division excites me the most for 2022 and which division excites me the least? Well, I'm not going to say the least because it's like I'm sitting here hating on everyone, you know, hating on the champion, hating on the contenders, hating on the excitement that they bring. So I'm not going to answer that. What division excites me the most for 2022? Interesting. I mean, right now the lightweight division has the most eyes on it. Middleweight division, obviously my former division, I always pay extra special attention to that, but I don't think that's the answer for me right now. I think the lightweight division, to be quite frank, the lightweight division's got the biggest stars right now. It's got the biggest buzz. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in welterweight. To be honest, they're all interesting. They are all interesting. Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards is an interesting fight. So I'm very intrigued to see how that goes down. So yeah, but thank you for your question. Mucho appreciato. But do you think the UFC will come to Canada anytime in 2022? I would have thought so. I know it all depends on COVID, doesn't it? It all depends on the COVID restrictions. For the UFC to travel around internationally, it's really, really hard for them, certainly with this current climate that we're all in. You know, think about it. This is why a couple of events got cancelled. That's why the UK hasn't had an event there since 2019, because you've got to fly in so many people. And before it was a 7-day quarantine and things like that. Now it's with the vaccinations and there's some people aren't vaxxed and, you know, yeah, fuck knows. But anyway, in England, they've fucked it all off now. So you're good. So they'll be coming there. Not sure what the COVID protocol is in Canada. But put it like this. I know for a fact, and far be it from me to ever speak for Dana White, but I feel quite confident in saying that if it's possible, they will do that. Canada was one of the strongest markets. Probably still is one of the strongest markets for a long, long time. Obviously, George St. Pierre was a big factor in that. But I always remember the first time I ever went to Toronto. When was that? 2007, something like that. I couldn't believe how popular the sport there was. I was walking through, what's that square called? You know, it's like Toronto's version of Times Square, I guess. You know, you got all the billboards and stuff, the lights. I was walking through that square and I got stopped every 5 seconds or so. I was like, holy shit. Canadians love MMA. So, yeah, for that reason, if it's possible, they will go there. All right, let's go back to the chat. What have we got? Love from Accrington. Big shout out to Accrington there. DJ Sidey. Dundas Square. There we go. It is Dundas Square. There it is. Thank you, buddy. Dundas Square. A lot of people saying Dundas Square. There it is. How silly of it. Used to spend a lot of time up in Toronto. Not so much these days. Hey, Mike, how would a Prime Romero versus a Prime Rumble at 205 go? Good question. Would have been fun. Rumble Johnson. I think Rumble Johnson would have taken that. Let's be honest. Rumble Johnson, so powerful. So's Yoel Romero. Would have been good, though. Kryptonite Quigley, shout out to you, my friend. Thanks, mate. Or from the Canadians. Will UFC ever come to India? Oh, I mean, there's a massive population in India that needs tapping into. I think to answer you, Dana White, he gets asked questions like that at press conferences, doesn't he? He says, we want to go everywhere. And they do. Right now, I know they've got a big focus on China. They want to go everywhere. It's just so hard with the bloody goddamn pandemic, which is still going on, which gives me, oh, God. I'm just over it. I know we all are. Anyway, Michael Raj Paul, do we see Brits or Brazilians dominating the rankings and championships by the end of 2022? I mean, I'm British, so I'm going to have my own biased opinion of that. Brits or Brazilians? Well, we've got 3 Brazilian champions right now. In fact, is it 4? Figueiredo, Nunes, Glover. That's 3. Is there a 4th? I feel like, Oliveira, Nunes, Glover. Who am I forgetting now? Figueiredo. Yeah, so we got four Brazilian champions. We currently have 0 British champions. So I think fair to say. But we're hot on the heels. I don't want to repeat myself in the same thing every time on the lies, but Tom Aspinall. Who else we got? We got Arnold Allen at featherweight. We've got Leon at 170. Yeah, we've got Darren Till. Don't give up on Darren Till. Anyway, so there we go. Has Francis reached his prime at 35 years old? Don't think so. He's getting better with every fight, isn't he? Francis Ngannou doing better with every single fight. Every time we see him, granted, there is a long time in between those fights, but he is doing better. He is getting better. And at 35, you still got plenty of time left. I wouldn't say you're young for a heavyweight, but you've still got a lot of time left at 35. We know heavyweights go older, you know. Randy Couture was still going at what, 47, 46? If you use that metric, he's still got 12 years in him. So yeah, still plenty of time left for Francis. Let's have a look. Nunes still has the 45 belt. Yeah, I said that, mate. I said that. What do we think about her leaving camp? What do we think about Amanda Nunes? Let's do a poll on this, please, Ant. What do we think about Amanda Nunes? Does she win the rematch against Juliana Pena when they go up against one another? Pancho says, hi, Mike. Mike, how are you and Dan Hardy? Seeing he's a fellow Brit, when we're going to see him on the podcast? I don't really speak to Dan much. Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's doing good things. I don't know what he's up to these days. I know he's doing his podcast. I know he has a gym and he's training fighters and stuff. And he's talking about fighting. Who was he talking about? Who was it? Tyrone Woodley. I believe them two may be on a collision course to fight. I'd like to see it. Why not? Why not? But yeah, no, me and Dan don't really speak much. You know, we're different people. Let's have a look. Long-time believer, and I'll be at the show in Ohio. Nice. And I'm love you will be coming. And I love you will be commentating. Well, thank you very much, Luke Liming. I'll see you in Ohio. Let's rip down the bottom of this chat here. What are your views on Khabib's FC? I said it last night. At the start of the chat. God bless him. Well done. Well done to Khabib. You know, it's never an easy thing getting your first one, getting it streamed for free. That was a good idea, I think. I think a lot of people, by the way, if you didn't see it, just go to eaglefc.com. And yeah, it was free for everybody. No need for you hackers to be out there with your illegal streams. Am I? Seems like I'm kind of pixelated. Oh, no. You're all seeing me fine? 54% got Nunes in the rematch. Thought that would have been higher. No disrespect to the champ. Thought that would have been a lot higher. Oh, it's dropping. It's dropping. 48% now. I think that Juliana Pena wins the rematch. Why is that? Why do you think? I personally think Nunes wins that rather easily. And I'm not saying... Juliana is a very tough lady. She's very good. And she beat Nunes fair and square. She beat her fair and square. But not in the first round, and she got tired and she gassed. I don't know what it was. And maybe I'm giving too much stock to Amanda Nunes. You know, maybe I'm being unfair to Juliana Pena, and if I am, I apologize. I guess we're only going to know when they have the rematch. You know, we've all got opinions. You know, so we'll see what happens. Francis should be paid millions and was getting half for each fight. What are your thoughts on that? I stay out of UFC politics, mate. You know what I'm saying? You want to go talk about your boss publicly? You'll get fired. I'm not saying I'd get fired, but it's just, I'm not here I want to talk about fun stuff. Hey, champ, love everything you do. What are your thoughts on Khabib creating a 165-pound division? I like it. I like it a lot. I like the fact there was a 165. There should be a 195. There should. Far be it from me. It's not my promotion. I don't know why they don't do that. But it seems logical to have 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 205. And then it cuts off. That seems logical. I haven't really considered why they don't. But I would like it. It could create another division. It will create more titles, more champions. I'm sure there's a negative to it. I'm not sure what the negative to it is, but for me, it seems like a win-win. For a lot of fighters, it also creates more divisions, it creates more stars, it creates more titles. But as I say, I've never sat and contemplated and gone through it with an expert what the downsides are. I'm sure there is, but I don't know what they are off the top of my head. Big fan Bisping. How scary is that Tiger Muay Thai camp with Khamzat, Yan, and Fazeev? It's a Thai smash factory. I mean, I don't know if scary is the word. Exciting, the place to be, great place to train. You want to train. Anyone that does mixed martial arts for a living or kickboxing or anything like that, you got to do a training camp in Thailand, just for the culture side of it, for the enjoyment, for the memories, for the experience. It's great. I mean, I did 3 months in Bangkok. I did 3 months at Ram Campaign, 2 months one time and 1 month another time. At the time, it was kind of bloody miserable. I was staying in this fucking grimy hotel, fucking cockroaches all over the gaff. But looking back, it was great. It was fun. Now a lot of people stayed in the gyms. They lived at the gyms, and but it was an eye opener for me. Certainly helped my Muay Thai out. I came back a transformed fighter. When I fought at Cage Rage 9 against Mark Epstein, I ate some nasty low kicks. I was beating the shit out of him, and I got a knockout in the 3rd round. But I was dominating the fight, no disrespect to the guy. And I was cruising to a victory, but then he caught me with a heavy low kick, and I was limping about all over the place. So I went out to Thailand and worked on that, came back a different guy. But as I say, just to immerse yourself in that culture, if you don't have children and stuff like that, and I had kids at the time, but just to immerse yourself into that culture, to live with other fighters, just to just to absorb your everyday, each and every part of you, just to go there. And you come back a different person. You come back a different fighter. You understand it way more. And also you're inspired and you see the Thai people, what they go through, and you see the sacrifice they make and see how they push themselves. And they're fighting everybody week, for next to nothing as well. So it is an eye-opening experience. So if you can make it, if you're a young fighter, I'd say go to Phuket though, just simply because it's way more beautiful. And not as smelly as Bangkok, even though Bangkok is a fascinating place. You, Chael, and MMA on point have taught me 75% of what I know about mixed martial arts. Well, thank you very much, Jack Wallacey. I appreciate that. Mike, if Chimaev Burns happens, who do I have? Burns is no joke. Chimaev won't be able to just pick him up and walk around. I know. It's hard to know. It's hard to say because everything you said there is absolutely true. Chimaev looks devastatingly good. He looks good on the pads. He's good with the hands. He's tall. He's huge for the division. He's a great wrestler. He's got good jiu-jitsu by the sounds of it. He's choking people out. He would have a height and a reach advantage over Burns as well. That's for sure. But you're right. You don't really want to tangle up with Gilbert Burns on the ground. Jiu-jitsu wise, the man's unreal. So I don't know how that would go. It'd be an interesting fight. I hope that matchup gets made, And again, it would be crazy because if he beat Gilbert Burns, I still don't think people would give him his credit. I would say, no, if he beats the Leech, Li Jingliang, then we got someone real on our hands. But now he's going to pass one more test. You know what I mean? The reality is he is destroying people very, very easily. Look at what he's done. Look at what he's done in two fights on Fight Island, smoked him. Gerald Mearchar, 17 seconds, one punch. Li Jingliang picks him up, has a chat with Dana. Yes, brother, I smash, no problem. And then puts him down on the canvas and chokes him out. He's had one significant strike, which he has had to absorb, which wasn't even significant. I mean, that's pardon my language, that's fucking mental. It's crazy. That is insane. So God bless his next opponent. Good luck to whoever it is that has to step in with that man, because you cannot deny the greatness of what he has delivered so far. So thank you for that question. Did you enjoy my time in Montreal? It was cool watching you drop the puck at the Bell Center. Love from Canada. Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah. So when I was fighting George St. Pierre, doing the rounds, we did some press conferences in Toronto and Montreal and whatever, Vegas and all over the place. Went to Montreal, went out onto the ice before a hockey game and dropped the puck. Yeah, it was cool. Montreal's a great place. It was nice to be back there. Obviously, I fought in Montreal. UFC 83. I fought... Who did I fight? Charles McCarthy. Chainsaw Charles McCarthy. It was when George St. Pierre fought Matt Serra the second time. That was my middleweight debut, by the way. Got him out of there in the first round. Anyway, but yeah, Montreal's a cool place. I am starving. Absolutely starving. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's because all I can feel is hunger pangs. You know what I mean? Jeez Louise, it's a little bit distracting. I've got a friend here in town. He's come from England. He lives at the next town over from me. And he's an old DJ buddy. So he's coming in town. He's been to Vegas. And do you want to hear a funny story? He was in Vegas. And he every day he's gambling. He's online and he's winning a lot. He's losing a lot, whatever. And he said to me, he was in the casino, and one of the security guards came over to him and said, "Hey, look, listen, I'm going to give you a little tip." He says, "If you go over there and you play that slot machine over there, and you bet $100 at a time, right?" He says, "Within 4 spins, you're going to win big." And he goes, "Seriously? Are you telling the truth?" to the security guard. The security guard says, "Yeah, I promise you." He says, "All you got to do is give me a little rub," right? Obviously, a lot of people, and I'm from the Northwest, the small towns, the mill towns where I'm from, they don't know about the tipping culture. They just don't, because it's not a part of their culture. So the security guy says, "Listen, go over there. That machine pays out. You just got to give me a little rub." He means give me a tip. So my mate, he stands there, starts rubbing his fucking shoulder. It sounds like a made up story, but it's not. And then he told me on the phone, he told me all about it. I said, "So what did you do?" He said, "I was rubbing his shoulder." I said, "What did he do?" He said, "He looked at me like I was a fucking weirdo." I said, "Yeah, of course he did. He wanted a tip, you idiot." I said, "Did you give him one?" He said, "No, I just walked off." Anyway, there you go. That made me laugh. It made me laugh. Maybe it didn't make you laugh, but still, I was laughing my fucking head off. Mike, will you give a shout out to my boy, Daniel DeBro? Also, if you never found fighting, what would you have found happiness with in life? It's a good question, Jeremy G and Daniel DeBro. What's up, brother? I often ask myself, I would have found something. Because I wasn't doing anything. But the reason I found fighting is because I needed to find something. I wanted to do something with my life. I wanted to turn this around. I was ambitious. I wanted to give my family a better life. I was sick of working for minimum wage. I was sick of being broke all the time. I was putting a lot of effort at the time into being a DJ, and I kind of realized that was never going to take off. I'm never going to be like this big nightclub DJ making tons of money. I'm like, right, what can I do? So I don't know what I would have done, but I would have done something. I don't know, but it was fighting. I mean, for me, that was who I was. That was what I was best at. So it seemed an obvious choice, but something would have come along because I was ambitious and I wasn't afraid of a bit of hard work, So that's half the battle. And I'm not afraid to take risks in life. You got to take risks. You got to go for it. Nothing good happens playing it safe. Maybe it does. Maybe it does for some people, but you got to be willing to take some risks. What else do we have? Hey, Mike, big fan. My fiance is sick with COVID. Oh, poor thing. Would you please wish her well? Her name is Celeste Bouchard. Well, this comes from Stuffy McGee. Celeste, you're sick with COVID. I hope you get better soon. Hope you're feeling well. Hope Stuffy McGee is taking care of you. Stuffy, are you bringing her drinks? Are you keeping her hydrated? Are you feeding her, doing everything? Are you showering? Because maybe her sense of smell hasn't gone and you stink. Do you know what I mean? She's like, fucking hell, I wish my sense of smell would go. Old Stuffy McGee's all right, smelly bastard. Anyway, Celeste Bouchard, all the best. Good luck in your recovery. We had it over Christmas. We weren't too bad. We were bad for a couple of days, but it definitely could have done without it. The whole house had it, every one of us. So we were in bed for 2 days. We got no family here whatsoever, no one. So we ran out of food in the house because we were all positive for about 10 days. So no one left the house. So we ran out of food. So it was DoorDash constantly. And we got fucking sick of that. And we spent a fortune as well. But anyway, there we go. All the best, Celeste. Mike, I thought you were a complete bellend. Thank you. When you were fighting, but now you're actually a really nice guy. Why didn't you show your nice side when you were fighting? Yeah, I mean, I was the same person. I was the same person now, but it's a lot of things, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You stick a camera in someone's face and they act a certain way, you know, and maybe I thought I was being funny. Maybe I missed the mark. I was trying to hype fights. I was trying to promote fights. I mean, if you met me on a day to day, I was just like this, exact same person. I haven't changed one little bit. But in terms of, you know, talking about my fights and stuff like that, yeah. I mean, I was younger. And, you know, I said some things that were cringe. Definitely did. But I haven't changed as a person. I've certainly mellowed a little bit as I got younger. I still got a bit of a temper on me, though. I work on that all the time. Need to go back to working on it. Yeah, you don't want to let people control you. Then they win. If you get mad, I saw a quote. I might have talked about this on Instagram, and it's like, oh, you know, or Sadhguru, I think he's called. This like Indian philosopher. He was talking about, you know, don't let people get you angry because then they're in control. You're determining how they control your emotions. And I got some email this morning from someone that blew my fucking mind. And I wanted to fucking talk shit on the email back, and I typed it out. I typed this fucking email out. And it wasn't even bad, but and then I held down the delete button. I'm like, I can't send that. But then like 20 minutes later, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm like, the nerve of that email that I got. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, why am I letting this bother me? Why do I care? I'm not letting them dictate my day. You know what I mean? And I've got better. I try and tell myself that all the time. Hold on, don't let them control me. And they're always small, little, insignificant things. When you break it down, it's not important. It's just bullshit. Why am I getting stressed over it? You know, and I'm not preaching to you. I'm preaching to myself. I'm saying things I need to fucking hear. But maybe you need to hear it as well. But yeah, there you go, Luke, Jeremy G. Oh yeah, I just did the shout out to your wife. But what else have we got? Let's go down the chat here, down the bottom, see what you guys are saying. Shout out to the Weasel. Boom. Should Michael have sent that angry email? Oh dear, it's someone we know, Ant, as well. Anyway, Bobby Lee's in the chat. Well, I hope he is. If he is, big shout out, Bobby Lee. Big time in me. Sent him a text, never got back to me. Greetings from Jordan, Ahmed Zikat. Well, greetings right back to Jordan in the house. Please do a live reaction to Jake's diss track. I'm staying out of that one, buddy. Fucking hell. Come on, man. Have I watched Peaky Blinders? Yeah, Peaky Blinders. Come on. Of course, I did watch it. Would love to have a part in Peaky Blinders. Feel like I'm good for that. But I haven't kept up to date with the latest seasons. I thought season 1 was incredible. Season 2 was good. And then I just not lost interest, but you know, it went, you know, I didn't like some of the later storylines. How would I have approached a fight with Izzy? Good question. Long answer with a headache. Hey, Mike, do you think Islam Makhachev could have beaten Khabib? I would have beaten Israel Adesanya the way I would have beaten Anderson Silva. That would have been the plan. Of course, me sitting here and talking about it is very easy. Carrying it out is very different. But forward pressure, take it, crowd the kicker, take away the reach advantage, get in the face, high output, back them up against the fence, go to town, mixing takedowns here and there. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. How do I think that Islam would do against, or do I think Islam would have beaten Khabib? Oh, I don't know about that, but, you know, can't talk about that. Mike, who's going to headline the UFC Columbus card now that Yanni's out? Yeah, that's a shame. I'm commentating the Columbus card. I didn't know it was Alexander Rakic versus Jan Blachowicz. until I saw that the fight was cancelled. And I'm like, damn, that's a real bitch. That's a real pain in the ass. I know Chito Vera is trying to get on that card. Chito Vera, who is highly featured in today's video, as I say, training day with Bisping. If you haven't seen that, check it out. We went down the Rookie Warehouse yesterday. I did a bit of sparring with Chito, with Jay Silver, with a couple of other guys as well. Hit some pads, watched some sparring. They did some sprints. I did not do my sprints because A, I didn't have my running shoes, but B, my sprinting days are behind me. I am not sprinting, certainly not on camera against current fit athletes on the UFC roster. Oh, not to mention, I have 2 fake knees. So sprinting is not a good idea. When I jog, I say it all the time, it's little jog, nice and lightly, little baby steps. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Chito Vera jumps up. 3 questions. Ian Gary will be a champ. Gagey, has he taken too much damage and ended up a vegetable? And have he ever kept blood-soaked octagon mat from a win? Never got the blood-soaked octagon. Although I do have some blood-soaked gloves. I have some bags. When UFC was with Reebok, every time they would give you a backpack and you get your shorts and you get all this, yada, 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 and you take that to the arena. And in the laundry in my house, I have all those bags. And the other day I couldn't find a mouthpiece. And I was like, I wonder if one of them's in there. And I'm going through it and there's all the shorts and it's all moldy and gross and disgusting, and an old jock strap. And I found a mouthpiece though. And yeah, a brand new mouthpiece used once in the Kelvin Gastelum fight. One time only. I've also got all the old posters. Whenever you've probably seen it on the embeddeds and stuff, when you get to the host hotel, they have all the fighters sign all the posters, and then each fighter is given 4 posters in, like a big sphere, cardboard sphere. One of them is signed by all the fighters, and then you get 3 blank ones as well. So I've got, I don't know, what is that? I had like 30 fights in the UFC. So I've got 30 of those, thingy bobs, spindles, spheres, I don't know what you call them, rolled up poster barrels, 30 of them in the garage, all signed by everybody on the card. So some of them would be, proper collector's items. And I always said that when I had my own gym, I was going to get them out. I was going to frame them. I was going to have them all up along the wall. But the gym that I have is a UFC gym. And they're just in there. They're just gathering dust. I've got Ultimate Fighter jerseys. I've got boxes of shit. Boxes of memorabilia. Ultimate Fighter jerseys and T-shirts and stuff like that. In the garage is just full of it. Maybe I'll do some giveaways for the channel, Maybe. But that involves me actioning it. That involves me going in the garage. That involves, first of all, before anyone goes in the garage, that involves my wife ordering a dumpster, okay? Or a skip, as we say in England. We had the house painted recently, the outside. That cost an arm and a leg. I did not expect that, by the way. But we had these shutters covering all the windows because the woman that used to live here had some disease and she wanted to keep all the light out. So they're all over the place and the garage is full of shit. And I keep saying to my wife, can you just order a dumpster, please, for the love of God? I have enough to do. I'm very busy. We're yet to get the dumpster ordered, the skip, okay? And then when that happens, then I'm going to clean out the garage. And then I'm going to fill, and then I'll have some space, and I'm going to do up my garage in the gym. And then I might get around to getting some of the memorabilia out. And then I've got to think of a competition to someone can win the memorabilia. Then I've got to pick a winner. Then I've got to go in there. Then I've got to pull it out. Then I've got to go down the post office, parcel it up, write down the fucking thing, and send it off to you. You see what I'm saying? It's quite the ordeal. Do you know what I mean? Just forget I ever said anything. Should Mike have sent the angry email? 66% of people say yes. You're incorrect. You're wrong. You are wrong. Let's go down the bottom of the chat here. This comes from Michael Thompson. Hey, champ, could you fight now if you wanted to or box and elbows? Yeah, I could. Like yesterday. As I say, I was in the gym yesterday and we were only moving light. But I felt good still. Of course, I was getting tired quickly. I did about 6 rounds, though. 6 3-minute rounds. Just super light. But the point that I'm making is things still felt good, And if I, lost a few pounds and focused on it and went consistently, I'd soon get back to be able to fight, The problem is It's getting cleared by a commission. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, and I did enjoy it. And in fact, I even saw some comment on today's video, by the way. Someone goes, oh, Bisping out here pretending he's got fake knees, but he's out there looking good. Mate, I've got 2 fake fucking knees. It's not bullshit. Why would I do that? Oh, I want attention. I'm going to create fictitious injuries. I'm going to tell everyone I've got fake knees. What do I gain out of that? Hey, Mike, do you find that fighters you have beaten in the past are less bitter towards you if they have success after the fact? Or is there still tension? To be honest, obviously, I'm trying to think. I don't really come into contact or conversation or anything with fighters, former opponents of mine. You know, like Anderson Silva, I don't bump into him very often. There's no animosity. Like, I interviewed Anderson Silva for one of his fights that I commentated. Was it the Uriah Hall fight when Uriah knocked him out? I think it was. And we spoke, and it was all fine. You know, listen, it's all water under the bridge for the most part. You know what I mean? When fighters, they go in there and fight, and certainly after a certain amount of time passes, you know, you shared a special moment. You know, you really get to know one another, and there's a bond almost, not with everyone, but there's a bond there that can never be broken. You know what I mean? And you shared something, and you see each other, and it's like, yeah, I know that guy, know him very well. He knows me, you know. Hey, Mike, big fan since the beginning. Big fan since the beginning. You're the best. My name is Bill. Can you say hi? I can say hi, Bill. And I appreciate the kind words. With all the female featherweight talent out there, do you think the UFC hasn't signed any of them to? Why do I think the UFC hasn't signed them to promote the division? Well, there isn't endless of featherweight talent out there. If I'm honest, there is a few. Obviously, there's Kayla Harrison. I think she fights at 155. And I'm not sure how the negotiations or the talks went with the UFC. I think she might be signing with the PFL, but there isn't. It's hard to build a division at 145, you know, for there to be meaningful contenders, a meaningful division, you know. There just isn't the talent out there, unfortunately. Stephen Griffin says, during your career, did you ever think you'd play such a big part in the UFC once you'd retired? Or did I think I'd ride off into the sunset? That's a good question. That was one thing that always kept me training so hard, because I was always terrified of going back to my former life. You know, I was always worried that this was a flash in the pan. It was just a moment in time. You know, that I was always scared of that. Always scared of that. Always kept me working hard. And of course I did. I you know, all fighters, all athletes worry and think about what they're going to do after fighting. And that was one of the main things that kept me working hard, but concerned me. I was going to say it kept me up at night. It never kept me up at night. Never once. People say that, don't they? Oh, it used to keep me up at night. No, never kept me up at night, but I did wonder about it. And then certainly when my eye came, when that happened, yeah, it fucking worried me then. I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? Because we're not set up at all. You know, we're fortunately now in a way better position. Commentating the UFC was always a dream. I remember when I saw, I think it was Forrest Griffin commentate one of the events in London. I thought to myself, wow, wouldn't that be amazing? I think Forrest and Stephen Bonner both did it at one of the London events. Might be wrong, but that was the first time I thought, wow, wouldn't that be incredible? Then I started working the pre and post fight shows on Fox Sports. The way that came around is that they, obviously UFC signed with Fox. I went in and did UFC Tonight, showed a bit of personality on there. And I'm sure there was other talks behind the scenes of the people that pulled the strings. And I got a shot at doing the pre and post shows. And I used to sit there and watch the pre and post shows, by the way, and go, oh, these guys are terrible. This is so easy. They are shit at this. And then I got a chance. And it's very different. It is way harder. Certainly when you're not a trained TV professional, you didn't go to journalism school, you haven't been formally trained in fucking anything, then you're in the Fox studios. That alone is intimidating. You're on this huge multi-million-dollar set. There's cameras everywhere. There's lights everywhere. There's producers. There's fucking 20-odd people standing around behind the camera, judging every word you say. And then, of course, there's people on TV. And yeah, sitting there on your couch, it's easy doing it then. Doing it on the money, it's way harder. But of course, eventually you get used to that. So for me now, that doesn't bother me in the slightest. Just at first, there's definitely you got to get accustomed to it, and I never asked to be a commentator. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people put it out there. A lot of people actively ask to commentate. I never asked. I should have done, because that's what I wanted to do. And then I saw DC and Dominic Cruz go on to be commentators. And I wanted that, of course. But I was waiting for it to happen organically. And it did happen organically. I got a shot at, well, I did an audition for the Contender. But first of all, I got a shot at, I was commentating Shooto Brazil cards. So Shooto is a Brazilian MMA event that would air on Fight Pass, and for the British, not the British, the English presentation, obviously, they had other people commentate it. So I was commentating it with myself and somebody else, I forget now. So that was my first foray into actual commentating, and I thought did a decent job. Then Zach Gandito, head of production over at UFC, he emailed and said, yeah, you want to give a try commentating the Contender? We're holding some auditions. So I did an audition, and then lo and behold, I got a contract to commentate in 2019. So yeah, and that was fantastic, and now it's a dream job for me. I love what I do. I love commentating the UFC. I love still being a part of the action. I think that's part of the reason as well I don't miss the fights so much. I mean, me personally fighting is because I'm still involved. I'm still a part of the sport. I'm still close to it. I'm still very much a fixture in the sport. So that's important to me. I help grow mixed martial arts in the UK and still take my role very seriously with that. Very much looking forward to the UFC March event. So yeah, I never did think so, but it's the perfect post-fight career for me. My God. So thanks for that question. I'm still starving. 56 minutes we've been going for. All right, Mike, do you think your career would have been significantly different if you met Perillo earlier? Great question. Perillo was definitely fundamental in my later success, more so in learning how to control my mind and control my emotions. I'm still working on controlling my emotions right now to this day at 42 years old. Still got a lot of work to do with myself as a man, but I feel like I'm doing a lot better. I went to, I've always been an emotional person, and I'm sure a lot of people are. Everyone has their own style. Some people are emotional. Some people are withdrawn. Some people are very even-keeled and steady. And God bless you. The world needs people like that. But I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I went to anger management for a while. That was helpful. Certainly saw things through a different perspective, a different light. Need to go back and do that. But yeah, Perillo, yeah, it would have been good to work with him earlier. Of course, 100%, Will I be at the Royal Rumble tonight? I will not. Do you know what I'm doing tonight? I'm going out. I'm going out. I haven't been out for a while. No, I've got this DJ buddy of mine. He's coming in. He's here for a night. So he's coming in, and they're going to go down to Laguna Beach. We're going to have dinner and a few drinks. Nothing crazy. You know what I mean? But famous last words, isn't it? Famous last words. See where we end up. So yeah, that's what's going on. So I will not be at the Royal Rumble. I do not watch professional wrestling. I do not watch grown men in spandex pretending to have a fight. I used to like doing that when I was a kid. I remember we did that a bit. And I used to like WWE, WWF back in the day. We never had it, at our house. We didn't have Sky. But I liked Hulk Hogan and The Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage. But I was also 10 years old. And now, and I know some of you love it, and I know DC loves it, and I know a lot of people love it. And I know that Ant, who's doing these polls, Ant, put a poll up. Do you guys love professional wrestling? It's hugely popular. I don't get it. I don't understand it. My son Lucas is 11 years old. I stumbled across the WWE one night, and I'm like, oh, Lucas, I thought he'll love this. He'll love this. I loved it when I was his age. Couldn't have cared less. It's like, he didn't like it, and these cheesy storylines. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd do it in a heartbeat. You send me a contract offer, boom, I'm there, the count. And I will delete this off YouTube fucking pronto. But yeah, I don't get the fascination, right? It's not real. It's not particularly, I mean, I don't know. Ant, put a poll up. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you think? Do you like professional wrestling? I like to see proper fights, not choreography. And don't get me wrong, some of the stuff that they do is very impressive. Some of the stuff that they do, It used to be WWF. Yeah, I know, troll. The stuff that they do, super impressive. Jumping off the top ropes, the somersaults and all that shit. Yeah, very athletic. And I understand it takes a massive toll on the body. And I'm happy for them. I'm not hating on it. God bless you. Go make some money. And I hope it continues to go from strength to strength. And I understand it's a bit of escapism and it's a bit of fun. But for me personally, I can't understand how another grown man that takes himself seriously gets so fucking invested in it and gets so excited about it. And maybe I'm missing something. Naresh says, to be fair, professional wrestling is not just men in spandex pretending to fight. Think of it as a TV show with storylines and scripts. Yeah, I know. A shit TV show with shit storylines and shit scripts. Naresh. I don't know. I'm being a hater. Ooh, look at me. Miserable old bastard Bisping, as I'm known in certain circles. Yeah. You're the man, Bisping, says Dev. Amazing seeing Callum whoop in the wrestling. Whoop me in the wrestling. Yeah, he can. Listen, he's a trained wrestler. Callum is a very, very good wrestler. Let's have a look at the poll here, by the way. Do you like pro wrestling? 16% say yes. 46% say when I was a kid, yeah. And then 39% say no, fake like Vitor's muscles. And that is not a fair poll. I want, are you a fan of professional? Do you like professional wrestling? Yes or a no? None of this bullshit. None of this, when I was a kid. There's no option to say no. Fake like Vitor's muscles. No. I want yes or no. Yes or no. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. As I say, I'm not hating on it. I see all these people getting really, really excited. Oh, it's WrestleMania tonight. I mean, listen, I can watch and enjoy. I can watch and see it and see the fun in it. You know what I mean? I can. But getting excited for it, that blows my mind. And again, maybe I'm missing something. And I would love to hear what I am missing. I killed it in Twin Peaks. Flexed your range. Yeah, I know. Who's that? Morn. If you haven't seen it, Twin Peaks, legendary show, legendary director, David Finch. What a character he was. Opening episode of season 2. What do I say? That's right. That's right. That's it. I'm a security guard. Blink and you'll miss me. Blink and you'll miss me. It's true. But Twin Peaks, if you don't know it, it's a legendary show, so you should know it. It's season 1's fantastic. I'm yet to see season 2 in a typical narcissistic fashion. I only watched the episode that I'm in, but I keep saying I'm going to go back and watch the whole second season because I love the first season. I'm sure the second season is equally as good. Let me tell you about the casting process for that one. So as we know, and I hate to bang on about it, I have a fake eye, right? When I tried out for that part, I did not have the fake eye. I just had a damaged eye. And when we got my agent at the time, sent me an email. They said, look, listen, they're casting people for this show. They're being very secretive. They won't say what it's about, but they just want people to show up. These are your lines that you got to learn. Anyway, I get up there and I do an audition. There were tons of people there. And this woman and this other ladies, they sit down and they're saying, and they were obsessed with my cauliflower ear. They were obsessed with my cauliflower ear. They were obsessed with my eye. And they said, what we want is really unusual looking people. And based upon my eye and my cauliflower ear, not my ability to say, that's right. Based upon my eye and my ear, I got a part in not Den of Thieves 2, Twin Peaks 2. So there we go. You never answer my super chat question, Alex Meany says. Well, what was it, Alex? Let's go to the poll. 24% of you like professional wrestling. 76% say nope. There we go. So I'm in the majority. I'm not a miserable old bastard. I don't want to ruin anyone's fun. I really don't. And if you love it, God bless you. I scratch my head. And the guy that did the poll, Ant, he loves it. He loves it big time. He works for Impact Wrestling. I think it's Impact. I hope it's fucking Impact at this point. I apologize. But I just don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. All right. Hello, Bisping. I have tried to get in contact with you or your manager about a movie role, but I have no idea how to. A film in Norway. Well, video, my man. I'm interested. I am openly trying to act. I have a few projects coming up, but I would like to know. So shoot me a DM on Instagram. There you go. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, mate. Or tweet me at Bisping. Do a tweet, but at Bisping, some point in the next couple of hours, and I'll see that and I'll shoot you a DM. There you go, mate. All right, so here's something back on the WWE vibe. Watch WWE as a kid. Thought only weird people still follow it, but notice more and more people pop up who like it. Anyways, mad respect to Tom Brady, the current GOAT of football. Respect to Messi and Djokovic for the GOAThood as well. All right, yeah, well, I don't want to sit here hating on WWE. And I'm sure if I went to a live event, I would enjoy it, because the athletes involved, the wrestlers, they are great. They're great at what they do. So, yeah, what was your question? Well, respect to Tom Brady. That was it. Yeah. Did Tom Brady just retire? I didn't see it in the news. If he did, I mean, come on. What a sporting icon that guy is. So well done to him. All the best in your retirement. Who would like to see Mike in pro wrestling? Yes, 41%. And yes, but only if it's in spandex. Well, I was rocking some spandex yesterday on the video as well. Check it out. Training day with Bisping. Wearing my Sanibel tights, which I do like to wear. When I go to the gym and we're kicking and punching, I like to wear the skinny tights. They're very comfortable to train in. There you go. And it stops you get hairs all over the mat in shorts. You know what I mean? At least if everyone was wearing them, we wouldn't have like skanky pubes all over the mat, which you do see, believe it or not. You know what I mean? It's gross. It is gross. All right. Well, listen, guys. What are you all doing tonight? Any big plans for the weekend? As I said, I'll be going out this weekend, tonight. Not out. I'm going out for dinner. I'll have a few drinks and then see where we end up. Hopefully, I'll be back here tomorrow in one piece, but you never know. What are you doing? What is on tonight? No MMA. Next weekend, Sean Strickland taking on Jack Hermanson. I'll be calling that one. That's a great fight. Excited for that one. Excited to call that. What we got here, Bisping. Would you rather see Ngannou get his payday against Tyson Fury or the super fight versus John Jones? I'd like to see him versus John Jones. John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. I think it needs to happen. It needs to happen for John Jones. John Jones needs to step up. The greatest of all time, and we'll say that. Don't get into the politics of it, or the picograms and all that shit. But let's just imagine this scenario. The greatest of all time in John Jones says that I am relinquishing the light heavyweight belt and I am going up to heavyweight. Well, then he needs to go up to heavyweight. He needs to make his debut, and I think the whole world is waiting for that to happen. The world of MMA is watching and expecting him to make his MMA debut and to go in and fight the champion in his first fight. That is the bill of goods that we were sold. So that is the bill of goods that I expect to receive. And Jones is tremendous, but now it's time to put your money where your mouth is. And that's what I want to see. I would rather have that against Tyson Fury all day long. Yo, Bisping, conceive, believe, and achieve. I will do, Brendan Devine. Thanks, buddy. Hey, Bisping, best martial arts for a fat dude. Best martial arts for a fat dude. I mean, you can do them all. And some of them will favor you. If you're wrestling and you get them down, being fat is going to be advantageous. Guys, I can't think anymore. I'm so hungry. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. I am absolutely starving. And I hate to say it because there's 2,834 of you on. So shouts out to every single one of you for sticking around. What should I eat? Put a poll up. Don't put a poll up. Please, peace, DJ Mikey B. I'm going to go through some of the chat down here at the bottom. Hey, Mike, if you're looking to go into acting WWE, would be perfect. Mike, who wins, Boris or Trump? Boris versus Trump. Oh, listen, I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump would kick the fuck out of Boris Johnson. Donald Trump, what is he? He's a big dude. He's like 6'4". But Boris, I haven't listened to him for a bit. He would get his fucking ass kicked by Donald Trump. He would, big time. Boris Johnson couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper fucking bag. And I'm not saying Donald Trump's exactly a tough guy, but in that fight, it's one-way traffic, buddy. Let's go down. Nah, Boris will rugby tackle him. Maybe. Hey, Bisping, do you think Paddy will ever be a UFC champion? Too early to say. Do you think, that's the same question. Trump would KO Ngannou. All right, buddy. If you could fight any current fighter, been asked that a million times. Who wins? Colby versus Masvidal. I'm going to say Masvidal right now. Go eat, boss. We'll all be here for the next stream. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you all coming on the streams, and I enjoy this. Gives a nice bit of back and forth. Who is more technical fighter between John Jones and Cyril Gane? John Jones. John Jones is far more technical. Maybe Cyril's a better kickboxer, but this is mixed martial arts that we're talking about here. If Jan transitions to a woman, do you think he could beat Nunes? I mean, it's possible, isn't it? You know, I mean, people do transition these days. They don't think that would diminish your fighting ability. It may diminish the testosterone in his body. And what would we call Jan? Yanes? Adrian Yanes. Sorry about that one. Mike, would love to see you with a Guy Ritchie movie. Me too, buddy. Me too. Me too. Love Guy Ritchie's work. Absolutely love it. And Guy Ritchie, he's a cool guy. Always says hi to me, you know, and he's a good dude. Last time I saw him, we had a quick interaction. Guy, if you're watching, which I know you're not, come on, man. Give the people what they paid to see. Thank you, Bisping, for the video. A shit year made easier because of the UFC content. Are you at the London show in March? I am at the UFC London show in March. And myself and some special people have something special planned for around the London event. It might be a live show of sorts, encapsulating certain podcasts. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for this one. Okay? All right. I'm done. I'm done. What was your routine back in your 20s? Well, in my early 20s, it was nothing. I didn't have a routine. It was trying to hold down a job in between all my partying and pretending to be a DJ. And then I got children, and then it started to get serious. And then I held down a job, and then it was shit. This job's awful. This job pays nothing. Let's get into MMA. Something like that. Favorite fighter to watch from the current UFC roster. Favorite fighter to watch on the current UFC roster. Ooh, tough one. I do like watching Robert Whittaker, though. I've never seen a fight again as much public support as Francis Ngannou. Yeah, no, people are liking Francis. What is your favorite fighter to watch? Yeah, who's my favorite fighter to watch? Who is my favorite fighter to watch? There's some mad. The roster's just so big. It's just so big. So I'm failing to think of a name right now. Bisping, you know damn well that Masvidal isn't going to beat Colby. Masvidal is a glorified journeyman. Well, maybe. Hold on. I think I'm here, mate. Hold on. That's the guy that's coming here. I got to go. I think my guest is here. My guest has arrived, and I can go eat. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, each and every one of you. Thank you very much for the support on the channel. We all appreciate it. If you haven't seen today's video, go check it out. If you haven't rang the bell, please ring the bell. More videos coming at you next week. Truly appreciate the support. Means the world to me. It's wild. You know, it's only really been about 5 months. We're at 320,000 subscribers. I know, I see him. My wife's like, cheese is here. I'm like, I know. Yeah, we're at 320,000 subscribers already. This time next year, we're hoping for that million. Thank you very much. Tell your friends. We've got lots and lots of great content, great ideas coming up soon. So stay tuned, and thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend, guys. We'll be back very, very soon.